Tonight, we're joined by a man whose influence has quietly shaped the face of urban development and coastal rejuvenation. His journey from the buzzing classrooms of Keta Secondary School to the venerable lecture halls of the University of Cape Coast, Legon as well, and he went to the Ghana School of Law, national front lines of coastal and marine development, and now to Parliament. He was born on August 9, 1976, and he was appointed by the former President Nana Akufo-Addo as the Chief Executive Officer of the Coastal Development Authority. Well, before that, he was the Deputy CEO. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences, Economics and Sociology from the University of Cape Coast, then Bachelor of Laws and Master of Philosophy in Sociology from the University of Ghana as well. Also, he holds an Executive MBA in Marketing from the University of Ottawa. In 2023, he earned that. And also awarded a qualifying certificate in law by the Ghana School of Law and called to the bar in 2010. Between 2005 and 2008, he worked as a special assistant for the former mayor of Accra, Stanley Ni Ejui Blankson, and he led various change initiatives driven by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Before he was elevated to the CEO position in 2018 at CODA, he was the Deputy Chief Executive Officer. And under his leadership, CODA went beyond the drawing board to redefine what infrastructural equity looks like. Talk about the coastal area, Savannah and Zongo zones, from the CODA Health Train to the CODA Drive Initiative, and a lot more. Tonight, we'll talk about his leadership and also getting into Parliament, because his political journey is marked by active participation in the New Patriotic Party, contesting parliamentary elections in 2016 for the Ablekuma South constituency and winning the seat as Member of Parliament for Weija-Gbawe constituency in 2024. He's the second Deputy Minority Whip in Parliament. My guest tonight blends law, governance, management into a seamless practice of leadership. He's known as the Choco Lawyer. With a career steeped in public service, he's not just a policy maker, he's a doer. He's our guest on Star Chat, and his name is Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaib. Honorable, you're most welcome. Good evening, and how are you doing, sir?
Thank you very much. This is more like a home game, right? So I just want you to be on notice.
Oh, really? You serve notice?
And I'm serving it properly.
No problem.
That the two women in your home, Mami Sewa,
that's right,
and Nadwa, I've told them that
right.
Uncle Kwabna is not going to mess their daddy up.
Certainly not.
That's right.
Tonight we're getting to know you more, and of course the world would like to know, and we're celebrating you as well. Honorable.
Thank you very much, and this is a very huge platform. I'm extremely grateful for this platform. I tried dodging a few times, and I have my reasons, because you're one person I'm not sure I would be able to lie to, because you have all the facts and figures.
Tonight we'll say it as it is without fear or favor.
Yeah, you're going to display all the evidence on your bare tip, so it's not too cool, but hey, we'll try.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you so
We're
much.
happy. So stay tuned for an inspiring, revealing, and thought-provoking conversation with Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaib right here on Star Chat. My name is Bola Ray, and Star Chat is also live in Kumasi on Ultimate FM. We're also live in Sekondi Takrady, Empire 102.7 FM, and it's proudly brought to you by MTN everywhere you go, and Star Assurance, as well as Compute Ghana. So get ready for this. Honorable, most welcome.
Thank you very much.
How's your day like today? Tell us.
So coming before you is more like going to write a SAT exam.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I had my manager try to take me through some videos that we had to watch some of your interviews.
Oh.
So the very recent one I watched, which was for me more politically connected, was with my chief whip.
Okay.
Honorable Anodompre.
That's right.
I had a few ones, and then I said to myself,
so you have to do your homework before coming.
Most definitely.
It's like you're going to write the SATs or something.
I did not sleep. I did not sleep, because I mean, you know the kind of people who are going to pass judgment on this interview, and so I thought that yes, don't let familiarity breed contempt.
Certainly.
I thought that I had to do my studies, and
right.
it was good doing so.
Wow.
And let me applaud you once again. I think that you've done very well.
Thank you, Honorable.
And I'm always proud to be associated with you. And I felt the need to just tell you that you are awesome.
Thank you. Coming from you, I don't take it lightly at all. So thank you very much. And we celebrate you as well.
My
so
pleasure.
tell us, How has 2025 been? I mean, first timer in Parliament and also second deputy whip. How is it like, Jerry?
First of all, I just want to give praise to God. I did not sleep in a day to think that I was going to get to Parliament and also be made to be part of leadership. I had no plans whatsoever. In fact, I didn't even know so much about what the whips did in Parliament until I got to Parliament.
So you didn't see this coming?
No, not at all. I just knew that God had a plan for me, and I took it up. I got in there. By God's grace, I won. My campaign was one of the most well prosecuted one. I did not see a day that I found the need to sleep. I did not take the good people of Weija-Gbawe for granted. I worked night and day. So I actually practiced the 24/7 properly. And then I got in there with the favor of God against all the tsunami that affected most New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidates. And yes, I'm here. And then I got to Parliament and I didn't have the slightest idea that I was going to go into leadership. I'm now in leadership and I give all the praise to God.
All the praise to God indeed. And Jerry, your first time in Parliament and you were suspended for 2 weeks. I mean, following an incident in the appointment committee. How has this experience affected your role and approach in Parliament? Today, you have the opportunity to break it down for us. Honorable Shaib, tell us what happened and following the incident, how's the experience?
I don't think it's an experience that I find worthy. It was regrettable. It was an unfortunate incident. It was never intended. It was never anticipated. Before we start the vetting of a nominee, normally the names are announced the day before. We come to a certain conclusion. The day of vetting, we go into what we call conclave. At conclave, we make decisions, and the decisions are what runs through the day. So on that fateful day, what we were supposed to do was to vet 3 nominees. So I think I remember 2 other people came in and they were not supposed to be a part of it. But it was just because of a certain arrangement and understanding, which has always kept Parliament running. And so after the first 3, we're supposed to have concluded around 8 thereabout. But we found the need to consider 2 other more. And most importantly, the Minister of Sports, and then the Minister of Transport. The Minister of Sports, because first of all, it comes from Uti. As Coastal Development Chief, then I traveled to Uti, and then I had some sort of relationship. So
you had an interest in that?
Yes, I had an interest, and obviously somebody who is also doing sports. I felt the need to, as it were, convince some of my...
Was that a conclave decision, or you were able to
No. The conclave had agreed that it was going to be 3. And it was going to be 3, and it was supposed to have been 3. It wasn't my influence. It was the influence of leadership. I only played a role. So when it came up, I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, against the backdrop that they had traveled from a very far place, and they had been there about 2 days or a day before, with some chiefs virtually staying around and perhaps staying in hotels and paying all the bills. So the second person, coincidentally, was somebody I had also so much interest. I did my national service in 1993 at Saboba, and then the Minister of Transport, the nominee then, was the one scheduled also to be considered. Obviously not considered as agreed by conclave. But then I also knew some personalities in there. Specifically, their paramount chief is called Oche Bobo. And that was a powerful person. I mean, for him to have traveled from that place to this place. So I was also impressed upon some of my leaders. And to a larger extent, that was agreed. We finished the interview or the vetting of these nominees close to 11 o'clock. There was no stamina. There was no stability. Brains were not functional. And there were 2 major cabinet positions. And obviously, if you mention the Minister of Foreign Affairs, people would want to be interested in his vetting. And you wouldn't want to have his vetting at around 11. And then you would mention the Minister of Health. I'd even spoken to him the day before. And we had a conversation with reference to me being on Kolebu board and some of the issues I thought that may come up. So there was the need for him to consider them. So obviously, these were people that we all had interest in vetting, but from a very good point of view, not a very tired point of view. Then the chairman of the committee obviously was beginning to toe partisan lines, because then he wanted his people to be vetted. And my minority leader and then my chief whip were also against that, and I was also against that. So our side and their side, there was no form of consensus, and they still, because of their numbers, wanted to bully us through the vetting process. So we were like, okay, then we stood up. So everybody stood up, we were watching and we're making sure that it wasn't going to go on. So as we stood up, then we realized that no, the standing up, they still wanted to go ahead, although we were standing up. And that for us was not parliamentary enough. It was non-parliamentary. And then I went to speak to the Minister of Health. Then I said to him, Honorable Akando, you know that it's late. But well, I think you should talk to leader. And in this...
you went to him?
Yes, I did. And in a very quiet, respectful manner. And he's a very nice person. I mean, so I walked to him. I said, whilst talking to Honorable Akando, I can tell you for a fact, I do not know, but I saw, first I thought it was Edem Agbana. And then I saw, I hear is Michael Asidu or Charles Asidu, Mosquito's son.
Yeah, General
he
Asidu.
pulled me forcefully.
He pulled you?
He pulled me from behind. And I'm sure you have the video, so I'm very sure you are going to play them. So he pulled me forcefully. Fortunately for me, the marshal, one of the marshals was just around the corner. And what the marshal did was to move me away. So I just warned, because I saw Edem Agban, and I warned him. And obviously, I told him that you're just a fortunate man. If we were outside...
you said that to him?
Obviously.
That was unparliamentary. No. That if you were outside, what would happen?
Oh, well, I would have given him some water to drink.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The bukum or choco?
No, give him water. Just would calm him down.
To calm down?
Yes. I mean, I'm not thinking that you're thinking I want to be. So, actually, and he said, oh, no, he wasn't the one. And I said, okay. So, the marshal tried to move me away. Then, I saw two of my very close friends. In fact, I'm closer to the chief whip of the majority. Roxy
Dafiamakpo.
Very close. I mean, you can check from your children. He comes there. We sleep, we drink, we eat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a family person.
That's right.
So I saw him having an altercation with Honorable Asantampuli, and both of them are lawyers. So I just walked to them, trying to talk to them, and I realized that no, it was becoming hotter. I saw that the tables have been moved, so there was some space, and I wanted comfort and security. So I decided to go and stand in between those two tables.
So your intention was not to push, as we saw you pushing tables.
Well, I'm sure you are going to see it.
Okay.
I pray you have the video.
We do.
People are not going to be political. The propaganda is too much.
So you went there just
I
to
stood
seek
in
comfort.
the middle of these two tables, and all I could see, and apparently my standing there was, according to the NDC guys, was virtually to prevent them from closing the tables for the vetting to proceed. So I was a target. So you saw 4 or more pushing the table at me at the level that if I hadn't moved to try and defend myself, and the best I could do was just to tilt the table. And I didn't even do it alone. If you watch the video, you would see that a police officer was even trying to help me do so. And that was what happened. It was never me, Jerry Ahmed Shaib,
trying to start any...
And that has been a very painful incident for me, because the general agreement or general conversation has been that
you're a violent person.
I pushed the table.
No.
I never did, and you can watch.
Did that get to you? I mean, when people were just out there saying that you started,
it really got to me. My savior has been my madam police, and and then most importantly my daughter. So I was taking them to school, and then the incident came up, and the kind of conversation my daughter, the first one, Nadra, made really give me some peace of mind. But Daddy, if they're going to push the table and hurt you, were they expecting you to just stand and watch them?
So for you, it was protection, it was security, it was safety.
And please, you can take your time, do proper. You can invite any forensic person to do proper analysis, and you see clearly that this was me trying to prevent myself from being injured rather than pushing the table.
With that said, Honorable Jerry, do you believe that the decision to suspend you was fair and justified?
First of all, I think that if you go under Article 23, it talks about the rules of natural justice. And
let's hear the other party.
Yes, there is always what we call the auditor party. I feel that the speaker is a good person. He wants to represent discipline. He has reasons to ensure that the laws work, but I was never given a hearing. I am 1,000,000% sure that if the speaker had heard me then, and he had heard most of our committee members, he would have found it worthy that the real people who were behind the havoc, Jerry Ahmed Shaib was not part. And it's not for me to run away. No, I'm not. I'm not running away.
But a committee was set up and all of that. Your side of the house decided not to, So you maybe they will say they gave you that chance or opportunity.
I understand. So you understand when we talk about prejudices. So I had a committee chairman who in 2024, October, had set out to beat members of parliament who were then in majority and had made very scathing comments on the floor. Just in recent times, when we were passing the Gold Board Act, both parties had agreed that we were going to do some clauses and that we were going to end and go back and come the next day. When the majority decided to, as it were, forget about the original agreement, he came up again to show a very foul means. Sorry, I believe that if there was any other person who was chairing that committee and I found that person to be very independent, impartial,
you would have?
I would have attended and I would have stated my terms clearly. This was a committee chair who had gone on radio stations and had made some prejudicial statements then already, including, some of you, you were being violent. You were supposed to be an arbiter. You were supposed to be someone who was supposed to investigate them. So you needn't make such remarks when you hadn't even come to a certain genuine conclusions. So that was the reason why in fact, all the people on our side decided to boycott. Yes.
Interested. In all of this, I can see that really, this is the first time that emotionally and dispassionately you're talking about it, and it really got to you. Thankfully, you've gotten over it.
I do not think I have.
Oh, really?
I do not think I've fully gotten over it. I think that I've been to... So what I do in my constituency is basically to do church services. On a Sunday, I do between 5 to 7 churches. I visit them.
Every Sunday?
Yes. Try to do thank you tours and try to let them understand I've been extremely grateful for their support and still request for prayers because I make them understand that I'm also in leadership and it takes a lot more. And you would sometimes be surprised at some of the comments. So somebody comes up and says, you're doing so well, but you shouldn't have pushed the table. And I feel it in my heart. And I feel the piercing in my chest, and I'm like, wow, I wish you knew what really happened.
Honorable Shaib, you have the platform now. There's a major one. What message do you have for your constituents and the general public who may have been influenced by the negative portrayal?
So I still want to thank you for this platform and to have even brought this matter up. I want to use this opportunity to tell the good people of Ghana and my very respected Weija-Gbawe constituents that incident was regrettable, was unfortunate. I still feel sad about it. But to be honest with them, I did not cause any of the problems there. If they go back, have a lens which is free from any political party's lens and watch it from a very objective point of view, they would realize that I never, ever, I only did that. And you would see with the police officer that the police officer saw that it was even becoming overwhelming and he had to step in to support me.
Time check, exactly some 25 minutes after 7, and we have some messages coming in. I would want to get into this. Already, people are sending you messages from Obed. Obed says that he's a huge fan, and congratulations. He's in your constituency as well. Yeah. And he says that he wants to know, because he has the sense that the minority say every time that they are bullying the majority in the 9th Parliament. How true is this? Obed says that every time it's as if, you call yourself the mighty minority, and you feel that you're actually getting your way. Is that what it is?
I think that we are a fantastic minority. I think we are mighty in the ways we do things. We are mighty in our criticisms of government. We do things constructively. We just don't go screaming and believing that we need to criticize the government. We are taking government on issues and promises. And we try to do that from a very genuine point of view. I do not think that there is any bullying. I think that what we are doing is just a matter of quality and perhaps as against quantity.
Really?
Well, I mean, that's my view.
Okay. I mean, and Obed mentioned that, but I also want to know from you, given your numbers and all of that, some people have said, oh, come on, I mean, the NDC has majority and they're doing a fantastic job. So the minority, you're not even seeing. And I read somewhere yesterday that, the leader of the minority is a content creator and all of that. One NDC member was saying that. How do you see the leadership of the minority? Led by Alex Afenyo-Markin.
First of all, I think that we are 88 and they are 187. The jury is out there. The kind of input, the kind of submissions, the kind of statements we make on the floor should be very good reasons for anybody to say that, the minority is working or not working. We are mighty because we think mightily. We do very constructive, genuine stuff. We are not just there screaming. No. Well, if you want to know about my respected leader, the minority leader, I was saying Afenyo-Markin, there's one thing he has. He's very decisive. There's another thing he has. He's very strategic. And he's a team player.
On a scale of 1 to 10, for now, maybe the first 5 months, you rate him?
9.2 over 10.
Really? Afenyo scores above 7 for you.
And I will tell you why. He's a great mentor. Great in the sense that it gives you room to learn. That for me, he's just like you. I mean, I know the kind of people you've trained. And I always give you such examples. And it's not because we are here. Afenyo will give you the opportunity. Today.
What will you say to people who say, well, he's arrogant, he's very brushy? It's not true?
He's the least of arrogant persons I've met.
Oh, really?
He is. And I'm being very honest to you. He is. I eat with him when he's doing stuff. Sometimes he actually overdoes it. And for me, I think that is the innate politics in him. But for people to even call him arrogant, that would be the last description. He's hardworking. If you go and he's meditating and he's planning on going to fire some missiles, you would understand that you have to wait for him to go to whatever he's going to. And where he has issues, he tries to share. Jerry, look at this. I need your feedback.
He's that kind of leader.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, yesterday, for instance, we've done some back and forth on some matters. Obviously, I won't be able to share those with you. But that's the kind of person. He will give you the room to learn.
So you rate Alex Afenyo-Markin 9.2 over 10?
Yes. And the point is because I'm just thinking of other matters. Yes.
You mentioned being the little man who will, and I quote you, the little man who will be doing the errand job in supporting the leadership. Can you elaborate on what this means?
I'm the last person with reference to the leadership of the minority. And although I may be older than, I think apart from Mama Pat, I may be older than all of them. But this is what happens. They give you all the jobs to do. And they let you understand that you need to be on your feet. So, for instance, trying to get people to be in the chamber, that is my task as a whip.
Oh, okay.
Yes, as a second minority whip. Trying to ensure that statements are ready and for either the first or the second deputy speaker to admit that is also my task. Making sure that questions are provided on time for the speaker to give clearance to, that is my task. Giving people information on meetings, setting up press conferences, I believe that this is more than profound. Wow. So for me, this gives me reason to always be prepared and to let people understand that, well, you may be looking for me, you won't find me, but I've set the things up already. Wow. Let the others go and do it.
So a lot on your table. In all of this, what are your priorities? I mean, for the 9th Parliament, in your capacity as the second deputy?
Well, I think that the most important thing for me is that there should be cohesion in our caucus.
Cohesion, okay.
As we speak now, that is brilliant. We have very diverse views, and that is MPP for you. Afenyo could come up with something and you would understand the kind of feedback. But we always get to do one thing, to agree on a certain statement, to agree on a certain decision before we move out. For me, cohesion is key. For me, getting back into my constituency and being seen as the people's man, that Jerry is the most available member of parliament. He's at our funerals today. I mean, I've been to, we had to bury a lady, Kende, very solid person. I mean, young woman, died at 30. And she's a Muslim, so she was a Muslim. She died yesterday. She was buried today. I was totally surprised that I heard the Imam of Malam say, because when they finished burying the lady, we went to the mosque to do what they call Adua. And so I joined in. And the Imam asked one of his spokespersons to talk to the people in the mosque then. And then the Imam said they should thank me, and thank me for one major reason, that there has not been an occasion that they had to go through something and I was missing.
Wow. That
if it has to do with maybe Ari, I'll be there. If it has to do with an outdooring, I'll be there. If it has to do with a burial ceremony, if it has to do with they having the program, the Muslims have a program during fasting called Iftar, I'll be there.
It means that people are paying attention for the Imam.
And this Imam is quite old.
Wow.
I felt very, I felt very good.
Right.
Yes. Right. And I just had to even go and make a promise to him that I'm hoping and praying that one of the days I should be able to buy them a small ambulance, because you know that the Muslims try and bury differently and separately, and I felt good.
I can see that you are cut for politics, and politics is you're passionate, you love what you do, because you see some politicians and you feel that maybe they are faking it or they just want the power or the fame, but for you it's different. How different? Well, what pushes you or what motivates you to do that?
Well, for me, it's the proximity. It's the people. It's the service. It's the servant leadership. For me, growing up, I saw real politics. My grandfather, who also was once the commissioner of police and was a member of the National Liberation Council somewhere in 1967. J.U. Okonunu in private life, as a traditionalist, he was the Abulak Manche. So he was the Ni Abulak Patashin, Ni Helenunu. Did a lot of politics. My grand auntie, she was the first lady parliamentarian.
Your grand auntie?
Yes.
What's her name? That's for the record.
She's Sophia Margaret Oboshidoku, and in Nkrumah's time. So, I mean, these were people that served us. Some sort of inspiration and motivation for me. I saw my grand auntie and the way she went about things. She was so much disciplined. She was strict. She always believed in the faith. I mean, my grand auntie at a point in time could not come downstairs. She was up normally. She had a story. But you would always see that even I think she died close to about 90 years. Even at 87, you see a lot of pastors move up there. After they are done even praying and everything, the next conversation will be politics. And she'll be talking about Kwame Nkrumah and Kwame Nkrumah and Kwame Nkrumah. And then you meet my grandfather, who will also be talking about J. Yanka, and they are very two different people. So you're thinking that, yes, these people got you. And it's been good. Well, trust me, I mean, something that makes you it gives you satisfaction is to see that you've been able to provide some service to someone, and the person now feels very satisfied.
Heartwarming.
Very heartwarming. So I'll give you an example. In Weija-Gbawe, I have what we call the health train. So I do health screening exercises. And one of the days I was doing this health screening exercise, my doctors found out that there was a little man, I mean, he's a little boy, who was about 1.5 years. And this guy, his blood level was below 5. We found him out. We had to take him to the nearest hospital, which is called Akawe in the municipality, with the Weija-Gbawe Municipal Hospital. But when we go there, they told us that they won't be in they are not in the position to take care of this young little boy. So we rushed him to the Princess Marie Louis Hospital. That's what we call the children's hospital. When we got there, they just couldn't find any vein to get this guy some blood.
Wow.
We tried close to 6 hours. So around 11:30 to 12 a.m., the doctors were able to, and they found the vein. Now, when they found this little boy's vein, now giving him the blood that they had there couldn't match. So my guy standing here is called One Face.
Right.
We went to see a guy named Blay around 2 a.m.
Wow.
at Kolebu. I sent a message to Blay, and Blay said to me, listen, come, when I got there, then the doctors had sent me the blood sample already, so he knew the kind of blood sample we wanted. Blay got the blood sample. We came back to the Princess Marie Louis Hospital. We had then been told that if we didn't get the blood for the boy, the next 2-3 hours,
he will be gone.
Yes, he will be dead. They were able to transmit the blood. The guy stayed alive. Very handsome boy. It's called Christopher. Got him to stay in my house at Bola for a certain period. And there was no time that I felt that I didn't do well. I didn't do right. For me, that is real politics.
That's right.
You should bring service, dedication, commitment, hard work.
Impact.
Wow. Total impact. And what I do normally in Weija-Gbawe is to do a lot of screening. Almost every weekend, we do screening either in a certain community or the other. Register people on national health insurance, give them free medication. When you have an issue with fibroid, we try to do it for you, send it to any of the hospitals. We take care of the bills. The bills.
You pay for it.
And you can't check. It's clear. Same thing with fibroid. And when I tell them I want more babies in Weija-Gbawe because I want to be a Mugabe in Weija-Gbawe so that whichever baby comes, we know that it was once upon a time.
You are going the long haul.
Yes.
Right. Now, let's talk about President Mahama's performance. I mean, people are saying that, wow, 5 months early performance is making nonsense, in quotes, of previous governance. Do you agree with this characterization? And people talk about dollar coming down, the 120 days. He's actually fulfilled what he's launched, almost everything that there is to be launched because he promised it. And he's actually not giving you guys a message to come at him.
You are even suffering with your question.
I'm not. I'm actually putting it in context for you.
Well, this is me.
Yes.
And I want to be seen as such. And I pray I would remain same.
Sure.
I want to be as honest as possible.
Objective as possible.
Exactly. First of all, I think that President Mahama has done averagely well. I think that there were a few things he promised. He's been able to do that. I also think that he also had the support of the opposition to do same. For instance, the promise to have name his cabinet in 14 days. I think that we were very purposeful. We had to even abandon an order in the standing orders, I think order 3, to suspend, yes, and we did so. And President Mahama was able to form, or has been able to form, his cabinet. I think that the reduction of the numbers, yes, of ministers.
60 ministers.
I think it's not even up to the 60.
Yes.
I think it's 56
short of 4.
Yes.
Yeah,
but the 4 is becoming a problem. Because I'm expecting Zanetor Rawlings.
Oh, you're expecting Zanetor? Yes. Are you disappointed that she's not in government?
Very disappointed. That's the founding father.
But maybe
the founding father's daughter.
They are saving it for something.
Saving it to what? National Security Minister? No, and I think she's quite a sharp lady, so...
Have you engaged her on the sidelines to find out why she's not in there and what she's telling you?
I do not think that I'm the right person.
But you really want to see her in government?
I believe so. I believe she's... I would have preferred one Professor Bewo, who is young and is energetic, is smart. Yeah, but For me, Zanetor is a non-starter. That anybody would think that President Mahama would not give her any appointment.
For her to go to health, the
Yeah.
health ministry.
No, I'm not the one to tell the president, but I think that the president should have considered her either for health, defense, or national security. Now, national security and defense have been, interior have been combined.
Yeah.
So perhaps that's where there is a problem. But now let me deal with the main issue.
Sure, go
So,
ahead.
President Mahama made some promises. It virtually or literally signed a social contract with the Ghanaian people and said to them, in 120 days, I would come and account for ABC.
Yes.
I think that on the issue of appointments and perhaps the reduction is done quite well. What I have a problem with is, although there is a reduction, it sounds and looks to me like a facade, because the payment, if you now go to the Jubilee House, about 3.5 billion that is allocated for government whatever, right? 2.7 is already going to payment of salaries. So what does that mean? You get my point. Now, beyond that, I also think that President Mahama promised the Ghanaian people he was going to take off e-levy.
E-levy, yes. He did that.
It's done sound.
Betting tax.
Oh, and then the tax on
That
betting.
bet, yes.
Well, it's done sound with that. But beyond that, well, I didn't hear you talk so much about galamsey. What's happening to galamsey?
But he's fighting it. I mean,
Is-
is he not?
Fighting.
In
Why?
your opinion, it's
with
not-
with blue.
The blue, yeah, police that they've set.
Blue,
they
blue.
set up there,
You don't
they
even
set
know
up-
the name, just like me.
I think it's a blue patrol or something.
Well, it's
Yeah.
blue water.
Blue water, yes.
This water is
Don't you salute that? It's 5 months and they are out there. It's about time.
Babla,
Oh, yes.
Are you telling me that a proper galamsey
Yes. Is afraid of.
can be stopped by a blue water police or whatever?
So you want the military to be in there, not the blue water police or.
The President Mahama even told us whilst in opposition that there was going to be a state of emergency within areas that galamsey is being perpetuated.
But the Minister of Lands, he came to during his press conference clarified that
Why was it
it's
the
work
one
in
with the
progress.
crocodile tears? Is that the reference you are talking about?
No, Honorable Kofi Amabo.
Yeah, why he came crying? Why do you
Yeah,
think?
but because he was watching the video, he got emotional. It's not as if he cannot fight.
But does
it.
that not confirm that
Yes.
it has become worse? Did you hear the TUC at the May Day? On
Yes,
May Day?
yes.
Yes, they talked about two major issues. One of them is galamsey has become crazy. It's gone beyond imagination.
Because maybe they are exposing, they are going in there, they are fighting it, they're not leaving them, and that's why the reportage is all over. But he said they are working on
Well,
it. You don't believe that they will
the
fight
Joy
it.
FM
Yes.
guy who's been reporting on
Erastus.
find out for me.
Sorry,
He's
yeah,
he's
don't call. I was with
he's-
him in Kumasi. Yeah.
He's dying. He can't even. In fact, he's overwhelmed. What are we talking about? We are perpetuating galamsey like there was nothing like that before. And you know what? I'm
So
more
if
excited.
you should have fought it, if you guys had fought it, it wouldn't maybe have gotten to this time.
President Nana
Yeah.
Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as he then was,
Yes.
put his presidency on the line. The Ghanaian people punished him for that. He did anything and everything just to try and suppress galamsey. People thought he was, people were burning excavators and all the machines for galamsey. We were being insulted. Now, the galamsey that you are trying to keep is the galamsey that when perpetrators, especially foreigners, are arrested, they are
No,
just,
but they are deported. We see that.
and you think that makes sense?
The Gold Board says that after May ending, certainly they will be. Yesterday they held a press conference. They said that now under the act, they feel that the best thing to do is for them to go away. Yes, their whatever assets are seized and all of that. Don't you think that is a step in the right direction?
A step.
Is not
A step that you find a foreigner come deplete your environment,
Yeah.
cause all manner of havoc too. Then all you do is put the person back on a plane to
under
say,
your
"Go back."
administration, Honorable. Didn't you deport Aisha One?
What happened to Aisha Wan? Where is she? She was not deported. She went through trial, due process.
Yes, because
and
she
was
found
in
a way to come in there. The people say, "Well, let's
Well,
prosecute her."
So does that not also give you some lessons that okay, once upon a
What
time,
time, okay.
a certain group of people deported someone, but they came back. And why are you thinking that the people you're deporting are not going to come back? I mean, that is not so.
So on the fights with regards to galamsey, you feel that the government is not doing much or has not
Terrible.
done. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible. It's in proportions that are humongous, huge. That I would not in any way think that President Mahama will still be comfortable sleeping at home and be thinking that they should still persist.
So that is on the issue of galamsey.
So now let me come to another.
okay.
President Mahama, very solid campaigner, did good branding with his electioneering campaign. told the Ghanaian people that it was going to ensure that once you're a Ghanaian and you got a job, it's a job. It matters not which party gave you the job or which party you support.
But he has launched Ejumaiwa. Is that the 1 million coders? The Minister for Communications says that already 200,000 people, ready job for them. Won't you salute the president for that, Honorable Judge?
I will salute the president if I am able to see that this is actually what the case is. But let me tell you, but why do you go revoke about 15,000 and more jobs and you are still doing so? I still think that you should now give jobs to people. People have been working close to 7, 8 years, 9 years, and you go revoking their jobs. And all you do is to say that you are setting up or you are starting coding and there's a Jumara. And who is the Jumara? He. I've told you, as much as possible, I want to be very objective. I would not see any need for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to have come in to say that I was terminating jobs because these people were employed by NDC.
But that's not the case. They are saying that, I mean, we read what came from the chief of staff. They're saying that people were employed right after December 7th. But
I've also just told
there are some that were employed 9 years ago.
Far. 8 years, 9 years, 7 years, 6 years, 5 years.
Really? And they are terminating their appointments?
Well, I mean,
what are they telling them then?
No, but there are several cases in court to that effect. Nobody has given any explanations. Nobody has provided any reasoning. All they are telling you is that if you do not get it, go to court. And is that a way to say that you are a father figure? That, for me, it's a problem. Kwabena, it is time for each and every Ghanaian to understand that it matters not which political party is in power. Let the structures and institutions work. So now, police officers are kind of worried. You know what they are worried about? They are worried about, maybe I was a bodyguard. I even heard something yesterday, very funny, that a certain bodyguard of a certain minority person has now been removed from office because now a certain majority person feels that, he used to be for the minority, and that is what is happening. Same thing with what President...
A police officer?
Yes, and I met a police officer...
That shouldn't happen in Ghana.
I met a police officer who indicated to me that, in fact, today, we're at the police headquarters. Just when I told my manager at home that, listen, I'm tired, let me go and stretch. I'm not the only person to write sat and fail. So let me go and stretch. And I decided to go and see someone at the police headquarters. In my conversation with the police officer told me that, I said, that's their style. We should be wary. We should be worried. We should be thinking of structures rather than thinking of a political party. It's not on. As I speak with you, there is a certain brigadier. What's his name? Colonel Opoku. I think he's now Brigadier Opoku. Now assigned to somewhere in the Ashanti region. Today I saw a news item that he's been removed. Why? Because he's seen to be a certain more affiliated to a certain political party, which is not obviously the case. When a political party is in power and you are a security officer, you are expected to perform your duties without fear or favor. And that has to be... As a professional. And same thing. Even if you see the kind of appointments that have been made within the military settings, you would even appreciate what I'm telling you some more. We should stop the politicization of everything. Bola, it's just becoming too much.
Well, we'll come to that. On the back of that, I also saw that recently you led the Save the Judiciary protests opposing the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. What is your assessment of the impact of this suspension on the independence of Ghana's judiciary?
Well, first of all, I did not lead. I think that it was a coalition of parties that organized the demonstration.
Right.
And I was in the middle somewhere. I was enjoying with my local boys. You should see the video.
No, talking about leading, not you per se, but your party actually spearheaded it.
Yes. So we were just yes. So, and yes, the independence of the judiciary is key. I mean, you're sitting here because the Ghana's judiciary is very functional. You are sitting, you have all those land litigation issues you are dealing with, all the criminal matters you are dealing with. We are enjoying the peace we have because the judiciary is very functional. For me, I think that the judiciary currently is the backbone of the peace we enjoy in Ghana. And so, if partisanship if politicization of the judiciary is now what we are going to see, then we are in a big trouble. What I feel is that if President Mahama comes under Article 146 and he wants to exercise his powers as the President of the Republic, he should also be minded that every step I take, the Ghanaian people matter first. And that I need to leave a legacy as the president that came, saw, conquered, and the conquer was in a very positive manner. Now, if today you seem to want to remove Gertrude Torkornoo on those very flimsy petitions, very frivolous petitions, then you begin to ask yourself, are we trying to ensure that there is real rule of law and separation of powers? Well, I'm just excited about one thing. And what I'm excited about is that for whatever it is worth, 4 years will come. You know, people are beginning to feel that, President Mahama actually wants to push a third term. My prayer is that that should not be the case.
But I mean, they've come up, people from his campus saying that is
well,
not the
but
case.
You need to hear from the person.
Yeah, but
Bola Ray,
people close to him are saying that is not the case at all. You don't believe that.
You need to hear from the person.
So and you want President Mahama to come out and emphatically state.
And even when you hear from the person, this is someone who's told you that, once upon a time, I was not going to revoke appointments of people. Then he comes into power and he revokes appointment. The inconsistencies are too many.
Well, but many of the people close to him are saying that he wouldn't do that. But still on that issue of the judiciary, the Chief Justice, critics argue that the suspension of the Chief Justice is a necessary constitutional action based on petitions against her. How do you respond to such concerns about political interference versus constitutional due process?
Well, that's what I've indicated, that yes, every citizen has the right to petition when you have issues and you think that you need redress. So it's okay for us to have the petitions. But the content of the petitions, with all due deference, do those petitions make some reasonable, established prima facie cases for you to want to go ahead and deal with the Chief Justice the way you're dealing? I hear, she's traveled. She traveled with a husband
and a daughter.
But respectfully, the Speaker of Parliament travels with his family. And I don't think
he does?
Why not? I don't think that is not Parliament that pays for him. And I think there is more of a regulation as to how they can handle travels.
Right.
And whether or not there has been a violation of same. If there has been, is the redress supposed to be a suspension or a removal? We should be careful in all of the things we are doing. And that's why I'm telling you that, for me, if the Chief Justice has committed offenses or errors, or there's been some flagrant disregard of rules, let us take steps to let it look more professional, based on real matters, prima facie cases properly established, rather than those. But
from what you said, as it is now, you feel that.
But one of the petitions, or the petitioner said that his petition is based on the fact that he was in court once upon a time, and the Chief Justice screamed at him.
Well, we'll be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll get to, know a lot about you, your personal life and all of that. But going to our social media, we have messages coming through, and this is from Mariama Abubakar. Mariama says that, very sad, Bola. I happened to be around when he came in last week to the constituency, and an old woman said she's angry with him, so he had to explain what happened in Parliament before she understood it, and she's okay with him now. Well, we've been defending in the constituency. Interested. Well, Ode too says that, Bola. Well, he doesn't say why anyway. This one says, watching you live from Wa East, I always admire the bravery in you, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaib, and a humble and servant leader. We value you. And that's from Mariam to you, Honorable Jerry Shaib. We're going for a break. When we come back, we'll get into weightlifting. We'll get to know you, get into your family as well, and also rumors about your health and what you've said about Dumso in your constituency. It's right here on Star Chat. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Honorable Jerry Ahmed.
You bullets.
Right, and like I said, lots of messages. I didn't know that you have a huge following like that. Okay, so interesting. But beyond politics and law, let's get to meet the man, Jerry Ahmed Shaib. Who are you? Where were you born? And how was growing up like, Jerry?
Jerry Ahmed Shaib is a very selfless person. One that you can say that he's the people's man. He's found the need to understand that resilience matters. He's grown up to believe that it's very important to be disciplined and to have faith in God at all times. Born in Choko.
Oh, you were born in Choko?
Yes.
Choko Abodje or where?
Precisely, an Alabi maternity home.
Oh.
And then enjoyed the breeze then. Stayed in Choko a larger part of my life. Had some few schools in Choko, including the Mamprobi Roman Catholic. I attended also the Institute of Divine Education. We call it Shalom Shalom.
Okay.
I actually had the opportunity of going to a kindergarten with only about 6 babies or whatever you call them.
Right.
And it was managed by one Bra Charles, who, growing up, I saw that he became an undertaker. Being around with the people, decided to take education more serious because it was either you did that or nothing. Was a goalkeeper, played a lot of football teams.
Oh, you're a goalkeeper?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you would hear from people like Oforikwe, Stephen Appiah.
Yes, Stephen Appiah actually sent a message.
Yes.
Said he used to play with you. You're a seasoned goalkeeper.
Yeah. And on the park that we used to play together, I actually, during my time at Coastal Development Authority, built that park and named it after him.
Wow, after Stephen Appiah.
Yes, and everybody
It was a full circle. You had to do it. So a park that used to play football.
I mean, Stephen was one person who supported most of us when he actually got money.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
And he was selfless. He was down to earth. He was a grassroots person. I mean, some of us had some of the same features. So we rolled and moved together.
Eben Pancho, listening to us in the USA, and
he's not in Ghana.
No, he's not in Ghana. So Eben says that he used to play at Extra O.
Oh yes,
and Santana Park.
Yes. I was all.
So the park is still there.
Yes. Extra O is still there.
Okay.
Santana Park is still there, and these are my toilet facilities.
Oh,
yes.
Right.
But the parks were quite good. Aziz and Sam Johnson.
So if it had not been law for you and Parliament and everything, you'd have been a goalkeeper.
I was sure about that.
A footballer.
But my grandma was the major problem. So I was the kind of young man that I had the football. I was the one. Yes, I had the football, so I'll take the football to the park. And my grandma was such a discipline. She didn't see the need for me to play football. So although I was a very good goalkeeper then, you could be there and she would come and everybody will run away.
Really?
Yes, and then the next thing would be that, okay, but you must be making noise about that because I will still bring the football back. Yes, so growing up, I felt the need to serve my people. I understood service more because of the training I had from my grandma. And this was because she had a lot of sheep. I became a shepherd.
Oh, you were a shepherd boy?
Yes.
At a point in time?
Yes. She had a lot of sheep. I became a shepherd.
So you used to take what? The flock out there
yes.
for grazing?
Yes, to go have some grass.
You don't mean it? You did that?
Seriously. And then it was the time that I understood service some more because my grandma was such that she was treating the sheep and in fact some of the goats like they were human beings. All you would have to pray for is that there shouldn't be rain. Because if it rains, you would go and mop the place like you are a human being was going to sleep there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And then my grandma hadn't had a lot of education. She didn't get to a lot of schooling, but she ensured that each and every grandchild of hers was going to get the best of education. So she was dealing in canopies. And then the whole of state protocol didn't have canopies, so she rented them to.
Your grandmother used to rent canopies to the state?
Yes, to the state.
Wow.
And then she didn't write a lot, so you would have, even if she's frying kelewele, she counted them. So this was the kind of person. She never bought a car. She got money over the period because of the kind of business she was engaged in, and she she had two ways of keeping her money: my own money, my canopy money. And these were the kind of training we had growing up. A lot of discipline, respect to the elderly people, understanding that whoever... It was more of an egalitarian society. We didn't chokomampo, be colleague or if you had something, you were supposed to eat with your colleagues.
Communal living.
Yes, very communal. And if somebody has something, unless you had some bad ones that if they hear that you are coming, they would try and hide whatever. Yes, but naturally, this was the upbringing.
So that was maybe basic education, and then secondary education was what?
So I actually had a secondary education in Nungwa Secondary School as well.
Oh, you went to Nungwa? Nusek?
Yes, in Nusek. Nusek. And then from Nusek, and that was 1 to 5.
Okay.
And I actually did Ketasco. So I'm a Jolalian.
Jolalian, yes.
So
Standobe was there.
Yes,
was he your mate?
No.
Did you meet him?
I don't think so.
Oh, right.
I don't think so. I finished Ketasco, I think, 92, 93.
Okay, right.
And then I went to Saboba to do
Jolali.
Yes, I'm flying at once. And so my mate actually is the first deputy speaker, Bernard Ayafo.
Ayafo. Oh, Ayafo is your mate?
Yes, my classmate.
So how do you guys get on? Your classmate at Ketasco?
Yes. I mean,
I met him at Legon. Yes, at a point.
Yes, when he was proposed as the first deputy speaker, I was quite excited about it. When he got it, I congratulated him.
Bernard Ayafo, fine gentleman.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just a bit partisan, but it's not bad.
Oh, you think he's partisan?
Yeah.
People say he's very objective. People feel that he's sometimes even on your side and all of that.
No.
That he's too calm.
I mean, he's my friend, and
he's a friend,
and he advises me a lot because he's been there over the period.
Correct.
But I actually think that sometimes he's a bit partisan. I think that he can do very well if he moves away because he knows the standing orders very well.
That's right.
And that gives me reason to appreciate his understanding or the knowledge of the law.
Right.
But when it has to do with some meandering...
No, but he has a party.
Well,
so
obviously. And I think that was one of the reasons why we actually ended up having the issue at the vetting committee. But besides that, he's a very good guy.
So from Ketasco, then University of Cape Coast.
Yes, I had my first degree in the University of Cape Coast.
And you read?
I did a BA Social Sciences. I did economics and sociology. Finished University of... I was actually...
So first degree was not even in law?
No. I was actually in the University of Cape Coast. Okay. And I was the entertainment chairman for my hall.
Really?
Yes, Valco Hall. And it wasn't a bad sound bite.
That is the hall. But the custodians were...
Oh, well, but everybody will tell you.
Is Valco the hall at the University of Cape Coast?
No, largely I'll tell you it's Casford. In fact, if you ask me, it's normally between Atlantic Hall and Casford.
Yeah, Valco is...
I was originally posted to Atlantic Hall. But I found my way of changing because I thought they were too wild and I couldn't survive it. I came to Valco. But largely I had most of my friends in Casford and it was just a walking distance. So I was normally... So a lot of people actually, but for the fact that I was an entertainment chairman, a lot of people actually felt I was in Casford.
Right.
And then beyond the University of Cape Coast, I came to the University of Ghana. So I actually did an MPhil in sociology in the University of Ghana.
Okay.
And that was because I had an interest in becoming an IGP.
Oh, you wanted, growing up, you wanted to become an IGP?
That was all.
You loved the police service?
I wanted to take over from my grandfather, who instilled so much discipline. That was all. I never had plans of reading law.
Really?
Yes, I never.
You read MPhil because you wanted to become one-time Inspector General of Police?
And I actually did my thesis on crime statistics. Yes. The thesis was largely on crime statistics and what are dark figures. So crimes which are not reported and why they are not reported.
Interesting.
Yes, and then when I finished that, the university found me worthy to be a graduate teaching assistant. So I taught in.
So you were a TA?
Yes. So
sharp guy.
Oh no, bad sharp guy.
Wow.
Yes.
So at Cape Coast and then Legon. So your first, girlfriend was in Cape Coast, right?
Yes, obviously. I know where you are going.
Or was Ketasco?
No. Well, I had one in Ketasco.
Oh, you had one?
Yes, I did. I had one in Ketasco. Obviously, my mom...
Your mic is off, so don't worry.
No, it's okay. But I know what that... I told you I warned you.
So it was Ketasco?
Yes, I had one in Ketasco. And... I'm sure a lot of people knew about it.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
And connected to Perry Okujetu.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the lady's still around?
No, she actually died.
Oh,
sadly.
Oh.
Yeah, one very pretty, supportive lady. Whilst I was in upper 6, she was in lower 6. And then there were times that
she helped you finish your course.
No. She was somebody I had interest in marrying then.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, and then she died, but obviously
she died before you guys completed school.
No. She died. I actually went to Saboba to do my service, and then we didn't have mobile phones.
Yeah.
So I came back and I lost my girl. Somebody had taken my girl from me. So that was the first booking at actually.
First booking at?
Yes. I had my first booking.
It really got you?
No, it got me because then although then a lot of my colleagues didn't have a car. I had a car, and I had a car because of her. And
you had a car because of your first girlfriend?
Yes.
Why? What did she do?
She actually supported in fixing my uncle's car that he had given to me. So although I couldn't buy a car battery, I used to rent a car battery, put it in. It was a Mini Cooper.
Bro. They don't know the story. They just know. Really?
And she lived on a hill, so you know the way to do it. When you go, you park on the hill and then chuck it with some stone, so that she won't know. So you sit in the car. Anytime she had to come and see me off, I try and pamper her not to come because I didn't want her to see that. And that kind of thing you will fix. There's this guy, I'm sure you know him, Fanta, I know him. You used to be my car speaker. Yes, the sound.
No, the sound. Exactly. I know. I can relate to what you're saying. Exactly. So because sometime back to Achichi's Lodge, we used to do that.
Yeah. So Fanta fixed the sound in there. I packed it up, and Rita was then staying at Latebio Koshi. So more like the hill.
Yeah.
So I packed it, and I'll let her leave me go. And just when I start the car, I just open the sound, and I'm like, I'm the man of the moment.
Wow.
It was good.
Interesting times indeed.
Yeah, but I'm a born-to-be virgin.
Yes.
So at that point, I didn't have anything to do with anything.
Yes.
I even traveled to Aplao. That was the first time I went to an area like that, and I saw her parents. It was something which was good. Although we were quite young, all the parents warned us was you can't have anything to do. So I went to Saboba, came back, and somebody had taken my girl, and and you should understand it because for about a year, I couldn't reach out to her
and all of that.
Yes,
interesting. But of course, you moved on and you have a beautiful wife now. So now you're married with 3 children.
Yes.
How's life like? You're married to a banker, to a lawyer, parliamentarian, married to a banker. How's life like?
Well, it's all about.
That's the madam of the home.
This is a tough question.
It's a tough question. Oh no.
Well, I'm married to a very beautiful soul.
That's right.
My wife is my manager.
Correct.
I eventually get her giving me all the sound bites and
as it should be,
all the right feedback.
Correct.
And I think you and I have a lot of things in common.
Yes.
In your case, I know. You think I'll come and sit there, you'll be talking about me. I know that you did your trick at Akwaba. The first Akwaba night.
Yes,
I know.
Yes. And your wife helped me to get my wife.
Yes. That's why some of the messages are saying that you are interviewing your brother-in-law.
I know.
Yeah. So just like that, I also met my wife at a very serene place.
Okay.
I had gone to have a meal at your friend's place, Dele Mahmoud's place.
Dele Mahmoud, Ovation. Okay, Su.
Yes, Su, and then with a friend, Bonso.
Okay.
He used to be the DC of Elembele.
Okay.
So he had invited a friend in, and apparently when
the friend came with your wife, you saw it. Was it love at first sight?
Jesus Christ.
You said this is the rib of my
No, I knew right there that I was going to marry her.
You knew it?
I didn't plan marrying her. I only thought of impregnating her just to get her to stay. And she knows that.
Oh, really?
Obviously, she knows that.
You didn't want to marry her, but I just wanted to impregnate her.
Yeah, obviously, I didn't want to lose her. So I felt that, look, at that
point... Let me lock
her.
But you went on to marry her.
Obviously, and I've never regretted. So.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
I have my family is my compass.
That's right.
I eventually get them to have all the best of conversations with me, and I think that I get through a lot of shepherding because of my wife.
Right. So Mother's Day just went by. Father's Day is come. What kind of father are you? Today I had some people come to me, talk to me, and as we anticipate Father's Day. But for you mentioned it's your compass. Family is something that we should hold dear to our hearts, and it's just rewarding if you are in there. How do you feel as a father of 3 wonderful kids?
I just feel that I'm nothing without my children. And it's absolutely so. I mean, my wife and I sometimes get to have a conversation that, she says I paid the father 800 cedis or something. And I said, I'm willing to take that money. She can go to her parents now. And
because you have your children.
I have my children. And very lovely people. And the kind of growth. I do a lot of family stuff with the children, irrespective of my daily pressures.
Because you drop your children off school.
Yeah, and I pick them.
And you pick them up.
Yes.
Regardless, I mean, you are even in parliament, you still break
well,
time
now is because I'm in the front seat in leadership.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult, but like now,
Yes.
as we are on recess, I try to do that as much as possible. And
why is that important, Jerry?
That is my number one way of clearing pressure. The boy is now he doesn't even want you to pick him first because he's in a different school. Now, when you pick him, the kind of stories he will tell you, and now he's telling you about the planet, and he's someone who is 4 years, and he's telling you. And my wife will ask me, "Now, did you know what was the planet when you were 4?" No, I didn't, and I've never until I grew up. And he will tell you about colors.
Amazing.
And then he will tell you about sizes, and he will tell you, and he will tell you what happened and what to bring to him and what. And why he likes this girl, and I'm like, wow. yeah. And I'm like, yes, that's my son.
That's your son at 4.
What? Yes, Bola.
So what message do you have for, men and especially fathers who say, well, we are the breadwinners. We have to go out there and work hard. It's not about the family. Once we have the money will take care of the kids. And people have that perception and saying sometimes.
I think that I go through a lot of pressure, especially with community engagement.
Yeah, because you are busy, but you make time.
With parliamentary engagement and with other businesses.
Right.
But the very tantalizing, if I should use, the very exciting thing to do is to pick the children from school.
Wow.
Whenever I get to pick them from school, I get to learn a lot of things. And it makes me feel that, well, wherever I may be, I'm not very far away from them. Whilst at Koda, my wife would tell you, it was a very difficult position for me because anytime I traveled, I could go as far as Western North. And everybody would be aware that I wasn't returning on that day. But just because of the children and the fact that I would want to take them to school, I came back.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And the kind of stories they will tell you. And what is happening with, Arabella's boyfriend is this person and the kind of things they would do.
Yes.
It's heartwarming.
Kids say they've done this, and we love them for that. And
well,
that's what we do.
Yeah, this morning I heard from your home. and I did an audio and I sent it.
Oh, yes.
And you know what I'm going to talk about?
We'll save that. Let's talk about weightlifting now.
Yes.
We'll come back to family. But recently you were re-elected. 100% of the vote.
Yes.
That's overwhelming, and that's the vote of confidence from the delegates as well.
Yes.
Let's talk about your vision for Ghana Weightlifting Federation.
Yes. Well, my vision is to have weightlifting as a sport that's virtually known to everybody, just like football is now known to almost everybody.
Right.
When you even mention weightlifting, people misconstrue weightlifting as bodybuilding. And that's why we need to do some more education.
Sensitization is important.
So one of the things I want is to have weightlifting in schools. We intend to partner with Ministry of Education. We set up a 3-member committee that is chaired by one Professor Jonathan Kwote, who is a professor at the University of Ghana and also a physiotherapist. Very solid person. Is supported by my Secretary General. It's called Ken Oden Adai. And then you have the head coach, Michael Johnson Abuchi. They are formed. So what we intend to do is to decentralize weightlifting. That for me is key. Now we've been working on structure. Since I was originally, about 4 years ago, the president, major focus was trying to get logistics. As I speak with you, as Ghana was able to host the African Games, we had a lot of equipment. So that is now the way to reach out to the Ghanaian public. We want to have weightlifting within the security agencies, and that for me is another way of recruiting a lot of lifters.
Correct.
We also want to have them in the tertiary
communities as well.
Yes. Okay. So that's what. So we have targeted regional weightlifting teams. So what we intend to do is to start with 5 major regions: Ashanti region, Central region, Western region, Volta region, and Western North, and then perhaps Northern region.
Okay.
And what we intend to do is gradually start with these 5 and then go to the other about 11 other regions and make sure that we get more people to join. We just want people to understand that weightlifting is not a sport that causes injury, just like football.
Okay.
Football may even be more dangerous. I have had several injuries from football. I've had anterior cruciate ligament. Obviously.
Yes, I know.
Yes. I've had even my hand break and all of that, but not weightlifting.
Wow.
Weightlifting.
So, but Honorable, I think that you should do a lot of work then in positioning it, because it's not a very popular sport.
No, it's not at all.
I like your vision that you're going to go to communities, especially the services as well, and also in schools. Imagine having fan clubs of weightlifters. I mean, that would be exciting.
Exactly.
And get them all the logistics and their competing.
But Bola, the key point is funding.
Funding. Right.
Another bit about it is branding. And obviously, I'll now need to rush to you to
come
see.
through, and our media house will be ready.
Yes, we're
doing that with the arm wrestling.
Well, and Charles Osasile is doing very well. And I think that and be honest with you, some of the strategies of arm wrestling are some of the strategies are food.
Okay.
Because I feel that Charles is doing well, getting the students or the pupils to join, getting the security agencies. I read yesterday also that a certain police officer has been promoted just because she did very well in arm wrestling. So these are some of the things we want to do. But we need people, a media mogul like you, who can also be pushing the brand. We need to do some proper rebranding. We need funding because
corporate Ghana is there. I think you should reach out to them.
But this is what's happening. Corporate Ghana doesn't know so much about weightlifting. So it starts with the brand.
Education and branding.
Yes. So corporate Ghana will not want to go and put in their monies where they don't have it. Exactly. So that is why we need your support. And we genuinely need. We have African Championship coming up, and by God's grace I was able to get us the right to host in this in August. It starts from 15th to 23rd.
Count us in.
Yes, and we will need some free support on the media. And you have all of Africa coming. It's the African Youth and Junior Championship.
That's a big one.
Yes, and that's how we can push it. And I know it's a big trap. They want to see how well we are going to do this so that they give us the right to host the main one. And we are praying and counting.
We pray for the best. But Honorable, Shaib, before you entered politics, you worked as special assistant to the then mayor of Accra.
Yeah, Honorable Stanley
Blankson. That's your uncle as well.
Yes.
Okay, and then that is where you actually, I should say, cut your teeth in politics, would you say?
Largely.
That's from 2000 and what?
That was around 2004, 2005.
To 2008.
Yes. Well, so what happened? When I finished KBAS, I joined, I call him Uncle Stanley. So I joined Uncle Stanley to do some work. And you'll be surprised the kind of work I joined him to do. So he was then running the toll booths as a private person, running the toll booths on behalf of government.
Okay.
So he was running the Tema one, running the Afenyo one, running up to Akosombo. So I guess the first kind of job I got, I was a security officer.
After Cape Coast?
Yes, after my first degree.
First degree? Yes, you became a security officer?
Yes, and people felt that way because he was my uncle. He was going to give me something tidier than that.
Wow.
No, but I started as a security officer. So I worked as a security officer.
In uniform?
Yes, for 6 months.
Wow.
And you can ask. And my major station was Tema Station, the one here, what's it called? Accra, the Tamamoto way.
Oh, Tamamoto
way. The
way.
toll booth.
Okay.
The two.
Yes.
So I had to move from that one to the other side.
One.
Yes.
So anytime that you drive
yes,
on that
and guess
stretch.
what happened? But I think that me working as a security officer was better. Okay. And I will tell you why. So then I graduated to an assistant toll cashier. Then I became a toll cashier.
You sat in the...
Yes. Oh. When I became the toll cashier, that was where it was dreadful.
Really?
You wouldn't like it.
Because you see your mates, people.
My classmates, they were driving Mercedes Benz, and then you be having the ticket. Then you tell, then you give it. Then you see the person. Oh, Jerry.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
But you had to go through that. You
I did.
At one point, say that, well, I'm above this.
No. And I think he liked me for that. And so I think 2 years later, I was supposed to go to the university, but then he asked me to then become his PA.
Wow.
So I became the PA, and he gave me some old Mercedes Benz. And you know, those times I would come and meet you sometimes at Boomerang. But guess what? I would have gone to work. Wow. Because I did what we call snap checks. Go around say 12:30, and I do that strategically because that was also a way to come and jump.
And come to the club.
Wow. And I see Bola Ray is buying me champagne. I'm like, man, I can't even drink this, man.
I know, right?
So I come to the club, but I would have done a very solid job. I did all the snap checks.
This was early 2000s, like 2003, 2002.
Yes.
But you'd have gone to work.
Yes.
And then you come and chill.
Yes.
Charlie, you are the man.
Yes.
You know, you have the blueprint that people should study.
Yes.
And getting into that, what do you miss as CEO of Koda?
To be honest with you, commissioning of projects. And projects which are projects you would call life-saving projects. In communities that you would just go and see that you've commissioned about 10 boreholes, and that you have given water to the people. Wow. In communities that you just commissioned an astroturf, that the youth have been thinking and praying that this I want, and they now have.
It brings you joy. Right?
Yeah, it's satisfying.
Wow.
Yes, wow. It's really joyous to see people, especially when you see the little kids running all over the place just because they've seen water.
Right.
Yes, and it was something that we could have considered largely, because the coastal, just like the other development authorities, had to deal with issues of poverty eradication, and that was where I found the need to appreciate that poverty is really, really serious in Ghana.
What do you do to unwind after a long day?
To walk with my madam.
You just love to walk?
Yes, we walk, and then pick my children from school, and then once a while read. I'm not very good at reading lately.
Oh, you love to read, eh?
Oh, not.
So what's that one book that changed your perspective on leadership?
Well, so in recent times, I think Honorable Atachi dashed me a book, and I decided to pay more attention to it. I think it's the 48 Laws of Power.
Yes.
I think by Robert Greene.
Yes,
and
love it.
And one of the things it taught me highly is to be patient.
That's right.
Highly. I mean, I sometimes think that I used to be off the cuffs, but these days, and I'm sure
it teaches you to be measured.
And I'm sure people kind of wonder that
is that the same thing?
About this thing that this guy, we were expecting him to be upset about. Oh, say cedi, you won't get me to come up. No, and it feels good.
48, yes. The Power. That is a great book as well. Favorite music will be what?
I actually have two.
DJ Mono, come closer.
I do a bit of gospel. And then, but he's not going to find the kind of song I like.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, you find that's
and
DJ.
I'll sing it.
That is DJ Mono. Oh, you sing. Yes. We'll get Honorable to sing.
And then I'll do the high life or hip life.
You love hip life.
Yes. So the song goes like this. Yesu kan odiwe ni modiwechi. Yesu kan wa mani oni wa bebrese. Sasa ni dani butu bipo tutu bo esuro okawo.
Charlie, you have a good voice. I think we should form some whatever,
I'm not sure.
But that one, we'll go to Washington D.C.
You know.
It's now time for our mystery question. So you have it right here. Yes. So as you do that, we're going to. Millicent says that I love his choice of songs. Was he a DJ one time? No. and Dr. Corte says that, hello, Jerry, great one there, and good to know this about you. What an interview. Well, thank you. Harry Ofori says that, congratulations, Honorable.
Thank you.
We love you. Okay, and Wendy says hello to you as well and say keep on keeping on. All right, so what's the first question right there?
When all is said and done, how would you want to be remembered?
That's right.
I would want to be remembered as the very selfless guy, the man of the people, the man who shares whatever he has, the man who places importance on caring for others, the man who brought some rejuvenation into the life of the youth.
Fantastic. And the next question, which will be the last one, is what?
Which political figure in Africa would you love to have dinner with?
And why?
What one question would you like to ask them?
Correct. Which political figure will be that?
I see people make a lot of noise about there's the Burkina
Faso. Yes. Traore, you want to?
No, I think I have a different person in mind.
Okay, and who is this? Who would that be?
I've just been thinking that if I won't be beaten when I get home, but I like the. And why is it Africa, anyways?
Well, it's Africa. We limited ourselves. We're promoting the continent and leaders from our continent.
So I'd rather go to Nigeria.
Nigeria?
And I want to find out from the president.
Tinubu?
Yes.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Yes, that at this age,
okay,
why would he still want to be president for the good people of Nigeria?
You find him interesting and intriguing?
Yeah, I do. I find Tinubu very interesting. I think that Nigeria has a very huge population. As to whether or not there is impact on whatever.
Is he on course from where you sit and observing?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, and I also want to believe that if he had the chance of appointing me as a Minister of Interior, would you consider that?
You love Nigeria that much, right?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
Yes, I do. I mean, I've lineage there too. So
okay,
yeah,
right,
so
right, in Nigeria.
Yes, so there's no basis for me not to want to have lunch or dinner with Tinubu.
Interesting. So as we go, one message to Ghana, and yes, of course, for Ghanaians, what will be your parting message or words?
I think that we don't have any Ghana anywhere. We should stop the politics of everything. I'm more worried about even the politics of sports. I mean, you get to deal with sportsmen and sports administrators, and you sometimes find them doing politics with sports. And I think that we should cherish the nation Ghana. We are enjoying a lot of peace and tranquility. Right. We are brothers, we are sisters. Wherever we find ourselves, we support ourselves. I give you an indication that one of my best friends is Roxy Dafe. Yeah. Right. I want us to believe that we are the future.
That's right.
Let us stop the politicization of everything. The Minister of Mines, Lands and Natural Resources is suffering. Is suffering on the issue of galamsey because we politicized it. We are actually currently politicizing somewhat the stability of the dollar. We are politicizing appointments.
Would you commend the government for that? I mean, dollar has actually
dropped
to 12.
Not necessarily.
You would
not necessarily
commend,
and I will tell you why. First of all, I believe that there have been some good reserves over the period.
Right.
There have been some management plans by the Etwal government.
But prudent fiscal policies as well and economic management, wouldn't you give them that credit? And the Minister of Finance?
I do not think that anything new has been done. And I'm telling you, I've always been honest in my thinking. I do not think that anything new has been done. What hasn't been done is that a lot of contractors have not been paid. Okay? So there is no money in the system. I do not think that the stability of the dollar to this extent, to a larger extent, is because of prudent economic management. I think that the China-US trade war has been a major reason for us seeing all of that. So, well, because they are in government, you will give them the
Wouldn't
praise.
give the credit? Yes.
You will give them the credit. But I am telling you that that for me is to a larger extent some facade. It's too early. And that's just what I was trying to let you understand. The politicization of everything, including somewhat the stability of the dollar.
So you want us to adapt to the wait and see attitude?
Apart from that, let the institutions and structures work. And when they work, Bola, if the dollar is going,
10, why not?
I'm enjoying.
Right.
I get to get more. My cedi is solid. And so I'm happy.
Do you wish the government well?
1,000,000%. I'm paying fees.
Right.
I'm paying school fees.
Right.
You are paying school fees.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
If you go to SOS, whatever you are going through is crazy.
Yeah.
So I would want the government to do well.